Good evening guys, and welcome to tonight's video. I'm going to talk today about calorie counting and why it might not be worth the effort. Now if anyone's ever tried calorie counting before, you probably know that it's the most painstakingly boring, pain in the arse thing in the world. I tried it for about half a day I think last year and I quit because it's, well, if you've ever done it you'll know why. I'm going to talk, and if you are an advocate of calorie counting, I'm going to give you 5 reasons today why it might not be worth the effort, and I'll give you a solution eventually after my next video on how to just save yourself some time and effort, because it's just not worth the time and effort that you put into it. Okay, so reason number 1 is calorie counts are very imprecise. Okay, there's actually 5 different methods that the food industry use in order to calculate how many calories are in foods. Okay, and the FDA actually permits inaccuracies of up to 20%. Okay, so what actually says 150 calories actually means 130 to 180. So, and there's also an error overall of up to 50% on what it says on the label. Okay, now number 2 is we don't absorb all the calories that we eat. Okay, some pass through undigested. And scientists have always used a formula to come up with a calorie count that reflects only what we absorb. Now the problem is, this formula doesn't work for nuts and seeds, it's wrong for fibre-rich foods, and it's not actually accurate for protein-rich foods. And overall, there's an error of around 10% on average on what this formula comes out with, okay? Number 3 is how we prepare food actually changes the calorie load, okay? So cooking in general makes calories more available for absorption, but this isn't stated on the labels, okay? For example, boiling an egg increases the calories absorbed by 35%, okay? Cooking a sweet potato increases the calories available for absorption by up to 91%. And that, like I say, that won't be reflected on the label, okay? So, as you can imagine, there's an error on what you read on the label for the calories that are available for absorption by up to 90%, okay? Number 4 is individuals actually absorb calories uniquely. We all have our own individual gut bacteria, and that can increase or decrease the amount of calories that we absorb. Okay, and in fact it's actually been shown that people with a higher proportion of one certain bacteria can absorb on average 150 calories more per day than other people with a different high proportion of a different bacteria. Okay, so again, a huge margin for error, okay? And number 5 is people aren't actually great at eyeballing portion sizes. Studies show that we mismeasure the amount our portion size is 2/3 of the time, okay? And, it makes it very easy to accidentally consume more calories than you're intending to, okay? Now, the problem is as well, nutritionists as well themselves it's been shown they can be off up to 30% of the time. So if we can't get it right, if they can't get it right, how can we get it right? And just to give you an idea of sort of how this can affect you, an additional tablespoon of peanut butter is an extra 94 calories, okay? Spaghetti, now we all know how horribly hard it is to judge how much spaghetti or pasta we are eating. We always end up doing more than what we need. And that additional half a cup of spaghetti is an additional 111 calories, okay? So again, it's a big margin for error, and the total error throughout all of those 5 is anything up to 25%. So even if you're the greatest mathematician, you've read every single label, counted every single thing exactly to the T, you could be anywhere up to 25% off. Now if you're shooting for a diet of say 2,000 calories, that gives you 500 calories that you could be off either way. And either way is just as bad as the other way. Eating 500 less can be just as bad as eating 500 more. So, like I say, even if you've gone through all this effort and you think you've got it spot on, all of these factors come into that where it's, it's just not worth the effort. It's just not worth the effort. Now, I have shared, like I said, this is, as you can probably imagine, this is part 1. Now, part 2, this is just half of the equation. This is just sort of accounting for the calories that you go in. There's a huge margin of error for the sort of estimating the amount of calories that we burn and we have out, and I'll talk about that in tomorrow night's video. So this 25% that we talked about tonight is actually even bigger than that when we take into account our estimations of what we actually do exercise-wise and the calories that we go out as well, okay? So, I have provided already a solution, a very easy, time-efficient solution to this. I think I did it last week. I do so many videos now, I can't remember. But I will post the link to that after I've done tomorrow night's video, after part 2. So that basically just gives you a very easy solution to sort of get round this and just save you some time and effort, because like I say, if you've ever done calorie counting, it's horrible. It really is. You waste your life, and like I say, you could be, you know, at least 25% off, and after tomorrow night's video even more. So look out for that. Hopefully you got some value from that. If you did, please feel free to like, comment and share. I always appreciate it. I hope you have a great evening, and I shall see you on the video for part 2 tomorrow night. Thank you.